So I should just text him and say, "Are you the black helicopter that I'm walking towards?" You think so?
Yeah.
On today's show, I have Brandon, better known as Investment Joy, as him and his daughter Tempe joined me on the helicopter, and we flew around the town looking at his very famous trailer park and laundromat. Now, if you're interested in some more of the helicopter content, jump over to my second channel, Steven Flies, where we show Tempe how the helicopter controls work. On today's video, we're going to strictly keep it all about business and how Brandon runs his laundromat, his trailer park, and his other investments. Right now, we are aboard the helicopter. We have Brandon with Investment Joy and his lovely daughter. Would you guys like to say hello?
Howdy, howdy.
Hello.
So this is your first ride in a helicopter. How does it feel?
That question's for you, Tempe.
So are you having fun in the helicopter?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, good. So obviously, as a fan, I've watched a lot of your videos, but can you kind of explain for some people that may not have seen some of your videos? I know you have a trailer park and some other investments. Could you kind of explain some of those?
Sure, yeah. My name is Brandon Schlichter. Everybody knows me as Investment Joy on YouTube. So I do videos about my laundromat, money collections of my laundromat. I also talk my rental properties, my trailer park, which I guess we're headed to right now.
Right.
And then I also recently bought 2 car washes and a storage locker facility. So I do videos concerning those as well. That's what I was in the process of doing when you texted me.
When I texted you saying,
yeah.
hey, can we do the interview today instead of tomorrow?
Yeah, so I was headed to the laundromat to go see how much money I made because I've been in Miami earlier part of this week shooting vlogs and shooting content. So rather than me doing just a laundromat video, which I'll do, I can pull the video out and do a TikTok or a short form content, my preference is like, let's do about me spending some time with my daughter.
Right.
Let's do some content about me going and transferring some mortgages. I'm transferring a couple of my properties from one company to another. And then let's do a laundromat collection video and do all of those at the same time. Let's do them in the same
So
day.
kind of showing what, a typical day is like for you, that you don't just go to your laundromat, you have a lot of different things to do.
Yes. I'm always surprised about the fact that people come up to me and say, oh, I saw your video about making money on TikTok. And,
Right. 'Cause I've watched those videos because I see them on your YouTube channel, but for me, YouTube is more of the social media platform that I enjoy, even as just a consumer.
Yeah, and I personally do not watch a lot of TikTok and short format content, and to an extent, I'm sure my channel suffers on short format because of that. You should see out the right window here my
Your trailer park.
illustrious trailer park.
Yep. How many trailers do you have there?
Right now, physically, there are 39 that sit there. We've got enough slots for 46 total trailers. And it should be glaringly obvious that it is very much located right next to an adult bookstore and a church.
Well,
So,
hey, I guess it covers both ends of the spectrum there.
yeah, so that's a very typical thing. We have not done a video on it, but right in front of us is the trailer park junkyard that one of my competitors has. And
Yes, we see that.
Yeah, so they have a trailer park graveyard right there, where they're just in the process of destroying and tearing up trailers that have become not economically viable at this point.
Right. Now, I saw you were doing like some rehab. When you purchased this place, it was quite run down, and it took quite a bit for you to clean the things up. And you had units in there that were not salvageable. So did some of them go there, or?
No, we tore them down, and we met the requirements to actually take them to the city dump.
Okay.
Because of asbestos and formaldehyde in certain trailers, you're not allowed to do that. So
that makes sense.
We had a company come in, and they were able to mitigate a lot of those trailers. I don't know how it looks from the air, but we've put a lot of effort into it.
Well, I've seen some of your videos over the past, probably almost 2 years, year and a half, something like
Yeah,
that?
about 2 years.
Yeah, that you've been doing that. And I saw some of your first ones, and then that you said that I just purchased this trailer park, and you showed some pretty rundown units, and then you were showing here's our plans, this is what we're going to do, and here's how we're going to fix these up. You own all the individual units, you don't just rent out lots, correct?
I've got probably 8 there that we have rented just the lots out on.
Okay.
And those were all ones that I inherited from the old owner.
Now, from a business standpoint, which, and I get maybe it depends on the area, but which is more financially advantageous for an investor, to own the trailer and the lot, or just rent out the lot? How does that work?
Logistically, just renting the lot is very, very easy to do. All you have are infrastructure costs.
Right.
And at that point, there's nothing else that remains. My concern is under Ohio Revised Code, if I want to evict somebody that owns their trailer and I don't want them and I need to get them out of there, I am required by law in most cases to have the trailer physically disconnected from utilities and then brought to a impound lot or to be brought out on the highway, which is one of the most awful things you could think of.
Yeah.
Then what happens if someone hits it? I become liable. So realistically, you have to have it taken to a trailer impound lot.
Okay.
So now I'm at $2,500 to $3,500 to have a trailer evicted. But we're kind of in the process of going through that right now with one of our tenants. It's our last problem tenant that we've had several issues with, and I'm wanting to get them out. And I'm probably going to have to go through the process of having their trailer impounded, which from a social media standpoint, that's great content. Cool. We're going to take somebody's trailer and we're going to put it on the freeway.
Yeah, it makes great YouTube, but at the same time, it's going to be a real pain.
Yeah, as a business, it's terrible.
Right.
And as a social media creator, social media guy, I have to constantly go back and forth between, what makes sense as a video
and what makes sense as a businessman.
As a business decision. And the difficulty there is I also don't want to portray things in a light that makes everything look like, oh, this is so easy. Brandon's just making money hand over fist.
Right.
Because as it is right now,
you have to show that there's a lot of struggles to owning, property and being a landlord.
Absolutely. As it is right now, we probably have $750,000 in that trailer park right now.
Right.
And I'm sure it looks absolutely wonderful from the air. But
now I believe, now correct me if I'm wrong, you own that with another partner investor,
yes.
Or how did that work?
Yep, I have an investor on it, and he just had tons and tons of cash, and he wanted to find a place to park his cash, so we bought it. We parked it at a trailer park, pun intended.
Okay, so that worked out well. So you were able to use some of his financing, and then you manage and.
Yep. Yeah, so I don't manage for anybody else. Essentially, I'm an equity partner in every single thing I do.
Right.
Everything that I do. Because otherwise, I and my staff would have to maintain management licenses. We'd have to all have real estate licenses.
But as long as you are an owner in the property,
yes. Yep. Then I'm not really a manager of the real estate. I am an owner of the real estate.
But you're able to then bring your skills of management to the table, and that's something you can provide for the investor, saying, "Hey, look, I'll handle all the day-to-day because that's my specialty."
Yep. And it also gives me a lot more free reign under Ohio Revised Code to bring on staff, because if I bring on a third party, I want somebody to manage for me underneath me, because I actually am an equity owner in the company. I'm a principal in the company. They don't have to have a license under the state of Ohio. It really is not that difficult. It's
extra paperwork and hassle for no reason. Whereas now you have the flexibility of choosing the right person, not just because they have a piece of paper.
Yeah. There's a cell phone tower.
Yep.
If you would head directly that way, we will fly directly over my laundromat. So that's South Walnut Street, directly.
I'm presuming there's no place next to the laundromat to land, I presume.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. Directly in front of us is a large brown apartment complex.
Yes.
That is the government-funded housing that's right next to my laundromat.
Okay.
And directly in front of that, closer towards us, will be the laundromat. And it should be super obvious that we have a brand new roof on there. I just spent $10,000 getting that roof on there. Directly next to the brown apartment complex is my laundromat. You can see my relatively popular Coke machine in front of it. That Coke machine has more views than anything else I've ever done.
That's always popular.
Where's the laundromat, Dad?
It's right over here.
Where?
Right over here on the right. And we have 3 customers in the parking lot. Oh my goodness.
Perfect. You're making money right now.
I'm so freaking excited.
Now, didn't you have some issues, Tower? Didn't you have some issues with people breaking in?
Yes, and we have resolved so many of those issues at this point. From being kind of run down, not having the world's greatest equipment, to where we have much better equipment now, and a lot of the crime problems have just disappeared.
Just by upgrading it brought in better clientele?
Yes. I'm trying to get rid of some of my headaches.
Right.
The trailer park headache and the laundromat headaches are not, they're very advantageous to make videos of, and they're problems that I legitimately, truly believe that I will overcome. With the that house on a landsliding hill, effectively, that's not something that I feel like I can overcome economically. It's going to be a lot of time and a lot of investment for me to deal with.
And then when you sacrifice time from another project for that, you may not get it back.
Correct. And as it stands now, I'll make $15,000, $20,000 off the sale of the property.
So just wash your hands, move on with life.
Yep, why not? It's been a very profitable rental. It's just time to move on. And my personality type is I have a very hard time giving up things.
Right.
Because I grew up really, really poor. My parents never owned a house they didn't own a house till I was 20 or 21.
Right.
So every property that I
because you don't flip your properties normally, correct?
Almost never.
Yeah.
I flipped my first did my first legitimate flip, and we sold it less than a month ago. We bought it for $43,000. We put 50 in it, so we're at 93. We sold it for $147,500.
And flipping is such a different market. Whereas from my perspective, I originally came from flipping, so that's what I did. What I did not like about flipping is you never build up residual. It's just a constant grind to the next property, the next property, the next property.
Yeah.
Whereas when you keep the properties, yes, you always have to put work into them. But if you have a good team that's helping you out with those things, as you add one property, you add a second property, a third property, you're actually starting to build up wealth and income coming from it each time.
What do you think, Debbie?
So now
Everything looked like a little.
everything look little?
Yeah.
So did you enjoy your first flight?
Yeah.
It was fun? Well, that's good.
Was it what you expected it? Did you expect more?
It's what I.
You expected what you expected. Everybody looked like ants, and houses looked like teeny tiny breadcrumbs on the ground. You felt like a giant up here.
I don't. Yeah. It's like
Kind of.
going through, flying through a tiny.
A what?
It's like flying through a little town.
A little town.
Flying through a little town.
Did you feel like you were looking at one of your doll houses, your little people land?
Probably.
I really appreciate you guys taking the time to fly around with us. And now we'll, if we got a little bit of time, we'll check out your laundromat real quick,
All right,
and
cool.
then we'll get going.
All right, awesome.